Welcome back to the Around the World podcast. We have an emergency episode today, our first one ever, and presumably first one for a long time. Out of nowhere here at 9 o'clock on a Friday, the Wolves just traded Cat. Um, the last thing I was expecting. I'm a Wolves fan. I'm very surprised by this. We're going to sit here and talk about it, get my first reactions as we go along. First off, I want to say I think for the Knicks, it was a risky trade, but I think it was the right trade. The bigger part, I think, to them is losing DiVincenzo. Randall was an important piece, but I think we always knew that they were going to move him. They're making it clear that they wanted to do that, and they found a suitor. They lose a first round pick, and then they lose DiVincenzo. I think DiVincenzo for the Wolves is an even more important piece than Randall is. Randall to me is just going to be a slightly worse version of what Karl Anthony Towns brings to the team, or I guess now brought to the team. It's weird. I'm I'm really shocked, honestly. I am. This was the last thing I was expecting, and as a Wolves fan, I don't know how to feel. I'm really sad to see Cat go. I mean, I grew up watching him. He's the longest tenured Wolf at the moment. He's probably our second best player of all time. Not even probably, he is our second best player of all time in franchise history, behind Kevin Garnett. He was on track to come become number one until Anthony Edwards likely takes those reins, and he's gone randomly on 9 p.m. on a random Friday in September. Um, wow. I I'm seriously I lost words here. This was originally going to be an Eastern Conference prediction video, and I recorded it yesterday, and I was going to post it, but now I think we're going to make this episode 3. Obvious community question here, which is just what do you guys think of the trade? Um, I it's taken me a while to think of what I wanna say about this. Like I already said, from a Wolves perspective, it's concerning and it sucks. And I think losing Cat is the wrong move. I really do think it is. I I th- I think he was. I think he would have been more important to keep than making this trade. Yes, he's a playoff dropper, but for me, Julius Randle is a bigger playoff dropper. He's so important to the franchise, and you send him off like this. Um, Obviously he's a New York kid, so I'm sure he'll love it. But wow, he sorry, I'm gonna have notifications dinging all night as me and my friends talk about this. I really don't know. I think it was the wrong move. That's how I'm gonna keep it as my first reaction. I think it's the wrong move. You just come off a Western Conference Finals run. Yes, Cat had a very poor Western Conference Finals against the Mavericks, but he also was unbelievably good in the Sun series, and he was a staple in leading them to a victory over the Denver Nuggets in 7 games and in Game 7. He was clamping down Jokic. He was the primary defender instead of Gobert. Gobert, as we know, struggles to guard Jokic, so they put Cat on him. And in the games that he stayed out of foul trouble, they won. And I wow, I think it would have been right to keep him. I think he was the better guy to keep in this situation. I really do. Um, Running back with this team, maybe it's a money thing. Like I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's get into it from a Knicks side though. Great move for them. Brunson, OG, Mikal Bridges, Cat. You can start Josh Hart at the 2 and then move Cat to the 5, or you can put Cat at the 4, which he has been doing with Gobert, and then have Mitchell Robinson at the 5, which I think is the better idea because Cat has struggled as a defender as a 5, but he's been much better as a 4. The Knicks are scary good. Feel bad for DiVincenzo. The Nova Bros were just about to get going with everybody there now that Mikal is there, and they don't get the opportunity to do that anymore. But I think he's going to play a very pivotal role in this Minnesota team. So it's good for him. But the Knicks, I mean, that Knicks starting 5 is filthy. We'll see how Cat can hold up with how many minutes Tibbs likes to play him, especially with the foul concerns. Um, I mean, it's a coach he's had before. Cat had some great seasons under Thibodeau. Was it only 1 year? I can't remember. I think it was 1 or 2 years under Coach Thibodeau. But Cat had, I remember, a great season, and I think he's going to fit super well with the team. I think New York's going to love him, but they're also going to hate him. He's a very polarizing player, and that doesn't work well in big markets like LA and New York, where the media likes to get on players pretty harshly. We'll see how it goes though. because he's an electrifying player, and I think he's going to love MSG. Going to the other players, Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo in the trade. I mentioned with Julius Randle, he's a bigger playoff dropper than Cat for me. Just statistically, he is. He is a more of a health concern than Cat, I would say. Cat, at least in recent history, Cat has had more minor injuries, right? Miss a month, and Julius Randle missed all of last season. I think he's a slightly worse shooter than Cat. I think he's a slightly worse player than Cat, if I'm being completely honest overall. But you add DiVincenzo. That's the positive. I mean, the Wolves team now, if you put Randle in the starting five, it's still Conley, Ant, Jaden McDaniels, Julius Randle, Rudy Gobert. And then off the bench, now it becomes, oh my God, what do they do about Rob Dillingham now? Are they just going to play? Are they going to go big and then go small? Because it's like, okay, so if we put Rob in, you have what? You have Rob, Walker, Nick Alexander-Walker, Dante DiVincenzo, Joe Ingles, Naz Reid. Am I missing someone? Who do we sign in the offseason? It wouldn't be Terrence Shannon. PJ Dozier's probably not playing minutes above Joe Ingles. So I think that's what it would be on the bench if you go small. But if you go to a regular sized lineup, God, am I missing? I feel like I'm missing someone right now as I think about this. Nope, Kyle Anderson's off the team. McLaughlin's off the team. So yeah, you're looking at DiVincenzo, Walker, Rob Dillingham, Joe Ingles, PJ Dozier, Naz Reid as the bench. I don't know if I like that. I don't know. We'll see. It gives more time for Dillingham and Terrence Shannon to get acclimatized to the NBA, but man, that's weird. This episode is going to be much shorter than regular episodes. I guess I'll make this one episode 4, I guess. But it'll come out before episode 3. It'll be really weird. Or maybe this won't be an episode. We'll declare it as that. This is not an episode. This is an unofficial episode of Around the World. Man. Yeah, as a Wolves fan, I'm really sad, to be honest. Like I said, I watched Cat my whole life growing up. He's been there the longest. He was my favorite player for a long time until Anthony Edwards came along. He's a polarizing player, but he is so good. New York, if there's any fans watching, you are going to be lucky to have him. He's very up and down, but his ups are some of the best you'll ever see. I mean, I watched him drop 60 twice. And hopefully he can stay healthy for you guys, because when he's healthy, he is one of the best 5s and I guess now 4s in all of the NBA. Wow. Yeah, big news out of the NBA tonight. I like the move for both teams, no matter how weird it's going to be. I think I like it more for the Knicks, if I'm being honest. I think Cat is a great player to get. I think DiVincenzo is a great get for the Timberwolves. Important to get another first-round draft pick, since they did trade a lot of those away in the Rudy Gobert trade. We'll see how Julius Randle fits. Nice and short episode here. Just wanted to get on and talk about this because, wow, this caught me completely off guard. Note short, but if you made it to the end, I really do appreciate you guys for watching. I'll discuss this trade more in depth, I think, in the next episode as we talk about the Western Conference. But wow, very, very surprising stuff today. Was not expecting this at all. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of the trade. Once again, if you made it to the end, even though it's short, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you, I guess, tomorrow for episode 3 of Around the World, which is the Eastern Conference predictions, which now we're going to be weird. But I will, more importantly, see you guys next week to talk about the Western Conference predictions in more in depth about this trade. Alrighty. That was a weird one. I will see you guys then.